Hi there. Welcome to Heart Space, a place where a holistic approach is embraced to give guidance and to mend your heart and soul. I'm Eve Alexander Ruiz, a doctor who, after psychiatry training, left traditional medicine to more wholly use my heart to help determined, purposeful entrepreneurs who've experienced manipulation to powerfully pursue and achieve personal and professional dreams. And it is my honor today to introduce to you Spanda Makt. Did I say your last name correctly?
Yes,
Thank you.
perfectly. Thank you.
Of course, Spanda awakened at 4 years old. He is the founder of Soul Based Living, a path to foster enlightenment and the evolution of being, supported by energy healing and world service. I want to thank you so much, first of all, Spanda, for taking the time to join us here.
Thank you, Eve. Thank you very much.
You are quite welcome. And I would love to hear, how did you get started in connecting with spirit? 4 years old. Woo.
Yes, so this I know that people have some memories of being very young, even before four, and have told me of even memories of even infancy. But I don't have I have a couple of memories of being very small, 3 or 2, and having a child's consciousness and
Mhm.
everything feeling kind of like it was in a fog, or that's what it seemed like in comparison. And then when I had this, what I call experience of subjective light, a light outside of myself and a light within that grew over a few minutes. And so I was in my grandparents' home in Newark, New Jersey. It was a brownstone, an apartment.
Mhm.
Grandparents upstairs, aunt and uncle downstairs, and my parents were visiting. And I,
Yeah.
as a 4 year old, were running up and down the stairs of this, I think, almost 100-year-old building. And that was, or in the 60s, it was already almost 100 years old. And
Wow.
so this moment of subjective light, this burst of light that felt like it was within and without. And then a voice said, always remember this moment. And also everything became very vivid. So everything became very kind of jumping out at me and scintillating. And
Wow.
then I was no longer in this consciousness of a toddler, though I had a toddler's emotions and the thoughts and feelings of a little child, like, oh, I hope I get this particular robot for Christmas, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
And but my vocabulary jumped up and I became very serious. And I
Mm.
remember being kind of offended when people thought I was cute.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
and it's like, I'm not cute. I'm a serious, treat me seriously. But I
Yes.
didn't see from the adult vantage point that this little kid is, tugging on someone's coat and talking about angels, aliens, or ghosts or something. So I suppose it was cute in a way for this toddler to do that. But I remember feeling like, you know, it kind of treat me as an equal, and at the same time having the childlike mind and emotions. And so, as a small child, it was very much a Harry Potter experience of seeing, feeling, and interacting with the spirit world, and having beings, walking with me while I went to school, and all this kind of a very incredible. I mean, it would certainly make a good fantasy kind of adventure movie. And I was giving people messages constantly. And I would, for example, Newark Airport, I'd run up to someone and start talking to this couple. And I guess I'm saying I see angels around them or something. And then here comes my dad and says, sorry, he likes to do this. And he'd come get me. So my entire childhood, I was running around telling people messages and my dad having to come back and get me. So
Oh,
that's kind of a very brief
thank you.
sharing about how it all started.
I so appreciate your sharing this with us. And what I particularly love is that within you was the realization, I'm sure at the soul level, in addition to your consciousness, that what was happening was real and to be taken seriously. And that is what you were balking at when other people were being dismissive and just saying, oh, this is just so cute. I appreciate
Yes,
that. And that shows the wisdom that you were expressing and carrying with you from that very young age in this lifetime. I think that's really beautiful and very apt of you. If we could fast forward now
yeah,
to when you are seeing people professionally, somehow,
yes.
thank you. I've watched you at work and I really marvel at it. You'll
Thank you.
suddenly have, of course, a stroke of color and then another color curving over here. Can you tell us a little bit about the unique way that you read for people?
Yes. So it's first of all, it's called soul portrait. I call it a soul portrait, and
Yeah,
it's
thank you.
actually very not very well known in the U.S. Actually, I think I've met a whole six people that do some kind of drawing or painting, and there's some more, but there's not too many. But
I've
in
met a
England,
whole one of you, and that's all I know who does this. Go ahead.
it's actually known in England, and it's called spirit painting in England, and it's not as obscure. And so it came to me through a story that I'll have to share another time because it's a little long
Mhm.
to show people what I was seeing. And so I decided to use colored pencil for the first few years, and I was born an artist and uh, was given this gift at 4, and then I merged them. And so I started doing readings for people in 1987,
Mhm.
and then uh, maybe 1992, I did the first slow portrait as colored pencil,
Ah.
and then a few years later, watercolor. And
Mm.
so the um, the first few years, I was standing up at an easel because it's art. I'm going to stand up at an easel. And so you imagine I'm at the psychic fair, everyone's sitting down, I'm standing up as a young man, and I'm drawing or then later painting at the easel while the person's sitting. And then
Mhm.
finally I just sat with people and got closer and painted for them. And so it's automatic painting, it's automatic art where I'm not really moving my hand, and I use one brush so that I can't really control how the colors are mixing, and then I'm just feeling what
Right.
colors to touch and make this kind of impression of them. It's not like a literal portrait, it's kind of lines of energy that indicate their energetic shape. And
So
there's
that
sometimes spirit guides that are illustrated in the picture or something, some iconography. And one person said it was like a giant tarot card because it's 18 by 24 inches. And
ah,
they said this kind of looks like there's all these symbols and things that and lines that indicates things. And they said, oh, it's almost like a tarot card, but it's personal to them. They all look a little different. And I have to
yes.
say, people that are artists, that all the pictures are fascinating, but artists have pretty pictures. They're like, very aesthetically pleasing. When they're a
Mhm.
visual artist, they look more pretty. And some are very bold, and some are soft, and they indicate their soul energy. And so
Mhm.
it's not a life. It's not about the human life so much as what is their higher self and soul purpose. And then in some of illustrated in some of the lines is what's going on now, or more
Oh,
importantly, what do we want to have happen, or who do we want to become? And then
mhm.
some practical application, like what are we going to do about it?
I am really marveling at the way you're describing this. I, for one, am an art lover, and I was interested once I grew up as a physician to have a center with various medical arts. And I had wanted one of them to be music therapy, another to be art therapy, because I love how
Fantastic.
music and art can move our soul. And it's meant not just for fun, but literally and deeply, profoundly. So I really honor that you have taken these disciplines and combined them for us. That is highly unique, highly unique. Um, I'm just wondering, is there um, is there a certain kind of person that might come to you for a certain reason rather than simply for listening to the wonders of combining the two disciplines?
Yeah, that's a great question. And when I was quite young, as I've been doing this for a long time now, I thought, well, I'm just going to get everyone. It's kind of random.
Uh-huh.
But there was this one event also in the early '90s that was basically no one showed up.
Okay.
So the
That
practitioners,
happens.
and it might have been '94, I think. Anyway, one of the practitioners that start chatting, and somehow it got into who do you attract? And to our amazement, we found out we're attracting completely different kinds of people, and that
Wow.
we're somehow filtering. Like, well, I get medical stuff, and I get relationship, and the irony with me is I grew up in a business. My parents had a very successful landscaping business, and walking down the stairs from my bedroom, first thing I see is the office, the home office, and I'm
Okay.
hearing business stuff the whole day in
Yes.
uh, my family's landscaping. And I said to myself, I never want to have anything to do with business, because that was kind of my dad's whole identity. He was Capricorn,
Ah,
very
yes. Very detail
practical,
oriented. Yes.
and he had a kind of a super magnet of bringing in clients, and both of my parents were amazing in their own ways,
Hmm.
and but I thought I've had enough of business just growing up, and
Mm.
then of course God laughs, and uh, over time I didn't realize that I had been absorbing all these business ideas from my parents that I was trying
You
to shut out, because I said I'm an artist, and
understood.
I'm a psychic. And so people started talking with me and having sessions as early as 1987. And then all of the things I learned from my parents started to come out, because people never really talk about, well, my career or my business. And then all this is coming out. And they're like, oh, I wanted to talk with you about past lives, and I saw an angel when I was a child, and all these wonderful things. And all the way also, I want to talk to you about my business. And all this stuff came out, and fast forward to today, and I think probably 60% of my sessions are about business, actually.
Isn't that something? We
Yeah,
may
it's
not be
amazing.
conscious of the process that's going on at a soul level for us. And yet you chose to be born to this situation, and
Yes.
every experience you had was intended to bring you to where you are now. And as we grow into our fuller expressed selves, we then
Yeah.
grow an appreciation for some of those things that happened in the past that may not have been our favorite.
Yeah. And so then others, there's the rest is just kind of endless in why people want to come see me, though often it's very intense. And I've heard more than once, you're
Mhm.
kind of my last resort, or I don't
Wow.
even believe in this stuff, but I've tried everything else, and the therapist or
Very
the doctor or
interesting.
something, and I'm coming to you. And also, people have come to me with very challenging problems where other practitioners send them to me,
Mm,
uh, and and then it's also because not all, but a lot of my work is the soul portrait, and then people come back and get sessions with me that aren't the painting, or we go forward with um, maybe monthly consultation, or coaching for their business.
my
And
goodness.
um, we I will do a painting for them and their romantic partner,
Mhm,
for example,
mhm.
or their child, or them and their spirit guides. Some people have asked me to make uh, the soul portrait for their horse,
Oh, that's beautiful.
uh, for a missing person that the family hadn't seen in decades, and so it was about that person, or for departed loved ones. So one person for uh, the family trust,
Oh boy.
because they were
Interesting.
having some drama, and they're like, well, what's the intention? Well, me and my siblings are in this trust, so
Mhm.
that's what we want. Well, so very unusual. I made a picture of them as the trust. So basically any intention, but and I love them all.
Mhm.
Uh the I just did one for a couple, romantic couple, a few weeks ago, and it was fantastic. And it's such an honor for me. And when I was quite young, as I graduated from high school in 1983, so when I started professionally, 87, not that long after I immediately jumped into this full time.
Yes.
And so I was quite young, and I remember taking notes because I was learning what the spirit guides were saying through my voice. They were saying things like, "I want to know the answer to that too." And so while the person was getting a session, I was taking notes because I was so young and I didn't know that much, about life
Yeah.
even. And so I
Mhm.
was just, hang on a second, I need to write that down because I need that too.
That's
And
wonderful. We have
yeah,
only
it's been
about
quite a
a
journey.
moment to wrap this up, and I can tell that you are so experienced and you have so many stories to share. I just want to address our beautiful audience here who has listened to this man who is so gifted and disciplined and who is available to see you and apply all of his talents to assisting you in your life. Just notice here, we have below the link to see Heartspace, and you'll find out details for the monthly fair where you can find him here, as well as perhaps, do you do online? I wonder if you do.
Yes, I do.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So he also has online appointments available. I want to thank you so much, Spanda, for giving us that rare glimpse into your life and how your passion has influenced you and brought you to this point where you are now with us. I am so honored to know
Thank
you
you.
even more deeply. I thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Absolutely. And I want to thank all the listeners here for tuning in once more to Heart Space. Come back. I'm going to have another guest with us next week. Looking forward to seeing you there. In the meantime, stay blessed and namaste.
Blessings.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.